Good evening to you. Well, it's evening here. It's 7 p.m. for us here in the UK. So my name is Jenny McCormack. I'm from Gemini Crafts and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm sure most of you watching me know that, but you never know if there's something new watching, so I don't like to assume. So hi Katie, thanks for joining me this evening. So today I thought I'd do something very straightforward and simple, and it's something that I did when I very first started stamping, and I thought the other day I hadn't done it for quite a long time, and that is to use our marker pens to ink up our stamps, which allows you to ink in different colours. So this is a lovely stamp from the Happiest of Birthdays stamp set. As you can see, it just features 4 large, straightforward birthday sentiments. I love this, and this is something I often say on Facebook when I'm wishing people happy birthday. That's one good thing about Facebook, is that you do get to celebrate people's birthdays with them that you may not otherwise be aware of. So I'm going to use this stamp today as the main feature, and I'm going to use the pens to colour it in different colours. And I got the idea straight from the catalogue. So if you have a catalogue in front of you, it's page 103. This is the stamp set at the top, so it's an £18 stamp set. And I don't know if you can see this here, but at the bottom and in this sample above with the little bag, they've inked Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays in 3 different colours. So this is a great one where you've just got some designer paper you want to match up with. You could, of course, stamp your own background to go with this as well, but for this evening I'm going to use some designer paper and choose some different colours for the colours of my sentiment. So say this is page 103, and it shows you how to do the inking at the bottom. Hi Sarah, hi Fiona, hi Carol. Thank you all for joining me this evening. So this is the stamp I'm going to be using, and I've got this one prepared here ready. This is the one I was looking for the other day because it's really nice, big, bold sentiment, perfect for the inside of your card if you don't want to write very much on the inside. This set also has happy a little bit late birthday, happy B-Day, and then it's your day, enjoy it, which is in a nice style. So I'm going to start actually with the designer papers, and I thought what instantly came to mind is this set of papers here, because they're really bold, and they just have a mix of colours. So what I've done is I've got a white, this is a white card, and I've taken a piece of this designer paper. This one is from Artistry Blooms, as is this one here, and this is one that had lots of really bright colours to go with it. If you bought one of my packs earlier in the year that had all of the different designer papers on, these would be included. So what I was thinking is I've die cut this label, which I think is the same one that they've used, so you could literally just stamp this up and put it on at a jaunty angle. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to use this one because this looks like it's got a crease in it. So you know me, I do straight, but I might do jaunty today. For the first card anyway. So I've got a few colours out. So this has got Night of Navy, it's got a bit of Pool Party, it's obviously got white, and this might be Old Olive, but I've got Granny Apple Green, I think, here to hand. So I'm going to use those 3 colours for my stamped image. So I'm just going to move that to one side and give this a go. I did record earlier the details of this month's class in a box, so if you haven't seen that, you can watch a replay earlier on this page. Hi Marion. Oh, hi Verity. So a really easy technique to use. So you do need water-based marker pens. So you can't use our Blends colouring pens, which look like this. This is a very well worn one. You can't use these because these are not designed to go onto the stamp, because when the ink is laid down, the alcohol evaporates and the colour is then sat, whereas with the water-based ones it'll sit on there until you transfer it across. Well done, Marion. I'm impressed. So this is what it's going to go on to, and this is my stamp here. So I'm going to do, I think, Wishing You the, Happiest of, and Birthdays as my 3 different colours. You could choose obviously to make them go lighter or darker. I'm not really thinking about that. And all you need to do is choose the broad tip, and that's indicated by the broader line on the side, the same as our Blends pen. And also there's a little printed one there. I'm not sure you can see with the light against my windows. And basically, let's start at the top. You're going to take the tip of the brush at an angle. Okay, so what you don't want to do is point it down, because you'll ruin the tip, and also it'll take you a long time to cover the surface area because you're only doing that amount at a time. So you want to angle it onto the side, and this was one of the very first techniques I learnt, because it enabled me to do flowers with pretty flower colours and then green for the stems. So that's my wishing, and then I'm going to do You Thee. Now you do want something that has a little bit of a distance between the image or the letters in this case. Okay. Then I'm going to do Pool. Actually, this is Coastal Cabana. So I'm just going to turn this round, and you can obviously see where the ink is going onto the stamp. I haven't used this stamp yet, literally straight from the box. Happiest of. Okay, now the ink is going to stay on the rubber components of this stamp, and what we're going to do before we stamp it is we're going to use our breath to moisten the stamp up, because obviously if you left this here for quite a long time it would dry out in the air. Happiest of, like so, and then birthdays is going to be Granny Apple Green. So I hope you can see that okay. I've decided that the when the camera is looking at this background, it makes it look really orangey red. So I must remember perhaps to put a plain backing when I'm doing this. Normally I have my grid paper or something on. Because when I was looking at it earlier, it looked really weird colour, and I think that's why. Okay, so I think I've got all of that. obviously the bigger stamp, the longer this is going to take you. And you could have more than, I've just chosen 3 colours, but you could have more than 3 colours. So I'm just going to lift this up and breathe on it. Here's my die cut, so I pre-cut this one. Obviously you could do it the other way, stamp it and then cut it out, especially with our new machine, which I'm really pleased with. There we go. So there you have a 3-tone wishing you the happiest of birthdays, and that is nicely going to match the patterned paper. So all I'm going to do is layer these together. Now you could add embellishments to this, so I've got some twine that I might add on for a little bow. If you've got bling, you could add bling, all sorts of things you could do with that. So I'm just going to pop this layer on. What you can do is turn it round to see where you get the best contrast. So I've got a little bit of white here, which is right next to that. So I think I'm going to have it slightly higher up, like so. So let me pop this layer down. If I can find any glue. I've got some wet glue. I don't know what I've done with my seal altogether. So I'm just going to put some wet glue on here. Like so. Pop it up in here. So this is a standard A6 card size, and I've cut my designer paper to 1/2 centimetre smaller. So that's effectively 1/4 centimetre around each of the edges. This I'm going to pop up with dimensionals to give it a bit of height. I definitely don't want mini ones for this. So this stitched frame is from the Stitched Labels dies, one of my favourites. Hello Carol with an E. Thank you for joining us this evening. So, jaunty angle today, and then I'm going to add this twine in. So this would be great for male birthdays, children's birthdays, adult birthdays, really anything. I'm going to pop that on the bottom. If you've got some buttons, you could put those on. I mean, whatever you wanted to do to lift it up. Sorry, I'm just going to put this a bit more in your vision. So I've just wrapped that around my fingers to create a pretend bow. Then I'm just knotting that in the middle, like so. Then it looks like you've done a large bow. Just going to knot that again so it doesn't unravel, and pop that on with a glue dot. So if you've got, you could do this with images. It doesn't have to be a sentiment at all. You could just do it with images. Find a glue dot. As I say, it's one of those things that I learnt very early on. before I was a demonstrator even. Just a great way of adding colour. Going to put that on the bottom there. Cut these little pieces off. 1 and 2. Now you wouldn't really be able to do that with ink pads unless you sort of did one and covered it up and then did the next bit and covered it up. It will be a bit tricky. So I'm going to put "It's Your Day, Enjoy It" on the inside, which I haven't put my label on yet, so forgive me for that. But actually I will, because I want to see whether it's straight or not. Sometimes it's really deceptive as to whether that would be straight or not. So let's put the label on. Hi Claire. You're on your holidays, Claire. Not supposed to be watching me. But just to let you know, all the animals are absolutely fine. All hunky-dory. I think they're very glad it was a bit cooler today. Certainly been much more pleasant for us here. Okay. It's your day, enjoy it. It's a really nice typeface, that one. And that would, you could use that for anything as well, couldn't you? You know, birthdays or anniversaries. And again, you could do this in 3 different colours if you wished. I'm just going to do it in navy blue. And as I think it was Verity who said, this is a good way of collecting ink colours, because you can buy the marker pens in packs of 5 for the in colours, or packs of 10 for the main colour families, so the brights or the neutrals. Okay, it's your day. Let's pop that on there. There we go. So I didn't need to huff on that because I literally just coloured it in and ready to go. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, I thought, looking at the designer paper, I was originally going to do another one with this paper, but what I decided was actually what fun this would be with our C papers. So I've got a smaller one of those, because I was thinking, let's find a full sheet, that you could put it on something like that in the corner, or you could put it on the fun whales, although you'd be covering over quite a bit of that. So you could use this part of the scenery cut across here. So there is one that I had in mind. Let me see if I can find it now. Oh, this one here. This is so stunning. Thinking you could put that in there, and then you've got these coming round, and you could pick up the colours from there. So that's, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's either that or that one. No, it's a bit too big for that. Hi Marie. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm trying to work out why these were cut down. And obviously I've put them on 3x3 cards. Right, let me put that to one side. So what I'm going to do is use this as my sort of guideline. and then choose my colours based on that. So I think I'm going to have this in up to here, although that's quite nice, that whole bit, isn't it? So I'm going to cut it from this side. Completely opposite to what I thought I might do. So got my head now. Had it like that, didn't I? Is there a better way? You could have it going over the top. Like that. These fish look like they could be going anyway. Okay, let's cut it this way first. So I'm not going to have a very big border, so I'm going to cut this to 10 centimetres because the height of the card is 10.5 centimetres. So I'm going to have half a centimetre out. I can't quite decide which side to cut off, really. It's only that amount. I think I'm going to cut this piece off. So I'm going to cut this to 14.35 again, so I've just got that border going around like so. Hi Sarah. So that is going to go onto my white card. Obviously I could choose one of these colours here. I could pick out Calypso coloured card perhaps if I wanted to. This is going straight, sorry guys. But I've got the 3 colours here, so I'm going to pick out Calypso, perhaps Bumblebee and Jade, I think. So these happen to be in this set here, which was fortuitous. So there's the Bumblebee, there's the Jade. And let's get Calypso. So I have the whole pack of pens. You can buy them as a pack with the case as well. That's all the main colours, not the in colours. Calypso Coral, there we go. So I'm going with those 3 to pick up the 3 from the card. Although I could pick up Navy, but let's go with those. And I was thinking this one, Happy a little bit late birthday, so I'm going to use 3 colours. So I'm thinking Calypso, Bumblebee, Jade, in that order. We will see. Now I am actually going to stamp this off first because that's something I didn't do with my other card, just to release any of the release agent off the back of here. So I'm just going to grab an ink. This is Bumblebee. So when you do have a new stamp set, I do always recommend that you ink it up and stamp it off. This is quite a juicy ink pad as well, just to clear any release agent that's on the stamp. So if you can see the difference even between this one and this one. There we go. I should have done that really with the first one, but I was too excited to get going. Hi Chris. Thank you for joining us, Chris. I hope all of the family are well. So those are my 3 colours that are going to match these fish from the designer paper. So, what did I say? Calypso, Bumblebee, Jade, in that order. So here is my stamp. I really do need to clean it. I'm just going to clean it with a dry cloth actually, because I haven't got my chamois to hand. Now I would say that this technique does not work as well with photopolymer stamps, because the surface of the stamp doesn't hold the smaller amount of ink in the same way. I mean, it will work, but it'll be not quite as deep colour wise. But the good thing is you could of course use your Stamparatus and do it twice, or because you can see through them, you could overstamp it if you're feeling brave. I think if I needed to do it on a photopolymer stamp, I would use the Stamparatus and ink it up multiple times. Okay, this is Bumblebee, and again I'm using the wide tip here. I'm just going to turn this around so that I don't go over what I've just inked up. This would be a good stamp for me to use. Happy little bit late birthday. I'm very good at getting cards ready for birthdays. I'm just a little bit more useless about sending them off in time. Anybody else like that, or is it just me? Oh good, Chris, I'm glad everybody's okay. Okay, so this is the jade green, nice deep jade colour. You could, if you were feeling that way inclined, do alternate letters in a colour. Okay, it would take a bit of doing. You'd have to be a little bit careful, but you could just pick out one letter, for example, and then change colours. When I see that, it reminds me of those pens you used to get, I think you still can get them, that have like 6 different colours. So when I was younger, I used to sort of do things in multiple colours when I was writing. Pretty sure it was frowned upon at school though. Okay, so there's my 3 sets there. Going to breathe on it again, just to moisten that up. Pop it on there. So I'm just allowing a little bit more pressure and a little bit more time to make sure all of that ink has come across. And there's our 3 different colours, which hopefully will work really nicely with these here. So as I say, I could switch the colour of card out if I wanted to, but that just happens to fit in there nicely, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave it as a white card, but you could very easily switch out the card for jade if you wanted to. So this is where the coordination of colours from Stampin' Up really comes into its own, because the papers in the book, it tells you what colour the papers are, and you can then match those with your inks or your pens or your blends pens. So let's pop this one down and add this. So as I said before, I'm using designer paper for this. You could be stamping your own background. One thing I do like about this technique, where you've got a bold sentiment, is not so much for this one, but the larger one, is if you've got papers that you're not as keen on, it's a good way of using those up, because the majority of the paper is covered up, dare I say it. Obviously you could also cut an element out of the back if you wanted to, but it's quite a good way of using up papers that you don't like as much. So this is very simple, very straightforward, using our marker pens. I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Thank you, Katie. Really, you know, not at all complicated. And as I say, I just got the idea by looking through the catalogue, because there are so many ideas in there. Even if you don't have the particular stamp set, you could do this with any large sentiment. Sorry, I sort of wandered away, didn't I? But these papers are lovely. So I do have paper share left for the annual, and you can also order the Christmas paper shares as well. So I'm going to hop that just up there, like so. And what's nice about this is great for boys, girls, teenagers, anybody who's into marine life, anything like that. So I'm not going to add any extra embellishment, but you could add sequins. We do have the Whale of a Time sequins that match these, and they've got like little shells, so they would be really cute to add into that. If we look at the other papers in that series, obviously this one would work. The whales would work, but you're covering over more of that. This one would work. You could actually stamp straight onto here. I might do a card with that in a second. You've got the sort of scenery here with the marine life. Same with this one. So all of these, you could just use that and stamp your sentiment across the top. And any of these, you could use the same technique. So here I've cut out one of the turtles. Nothing to stop you cutting one out, putting it on top, or cutting a small one out and actually having it on the base of there. So this, you know, would make loads of little cards. So let's just find that one that I said I might do one with, this one here, just because I'm here and I can do an extra one. So what I'm thinking is, it's your day, enjoy it, just straight onto there. Now I need to work out which way these are going. They're going that way, aren't they? I think it needs to go down the bottom then. Yeah, that's definitely the right way. So what I'm going to do is cut this one down. Actually, I'm going to stamp the sentiment first, sort of in there, and then I can work out how much left to cut out. And I think I'm just going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight. There we go. So I'm just going to pop it on here. So this is another technique, which is just to stamp your sentiment or an image straight onto your designer paper. Let your paper do the work. There we go. And all I'm going to do is cut across there with my trimmer and layer that onto a card. So what I'm going to do is turn it round and cut just under the sentiment here. So this is the track here where it's going to cut, where this line is. Okay, let's move that up like that. And then I know that I want this to be 10 centimeters because I know the size of my card is 10.5. Okay, I'll chop that little bit off there. Now these pieces here, you could easily use, cut into strips and lay them in alternate colours like that on your card. Lots of things you can do with the offcuts. Perhaps I'll do a session on the using your offcuts. And I'm going to cut this 14.35. So this colour here is actually Blackberry Bliss, so that would look nice in Blackberry Bliss as well. Where's that piece gone? So because I cut this little piece off here, you could actually use that on the inside of your card if you wanted to. Let me grab a card base for that. I might have to put my lights on. Let's bring some over. So I keep a whole stash of card bases ready cut. If you do that, one thing you must do is keep them out of the sun, because obviously the sun will fade any card over a period of time. So I keep them the other side of my room. So I've got Misty Moonlight, yes, Misty Moonlight here, which was the colour of the ink. That's not a complete card, is it? That's one I've cut down. So we can't use that one. Okay, so I have Old Olive, which will go with the green turtles. Just see what else I've got to hand. Black is too harsh. No, I think I'm going to stick with that. Hello Vivian, hi Sugar. Thanks for joining me for my nice easy session for a Thursday evening. Yeah, I'm just going to put that onto there. This is Old Olive. This has got Old Olive and jade in it. I'm just going to school this card and layer them up. So slight move away from my intended card. So 10.5 centimeters. And if you're scoring, you want the light coloured blade, like so. Okay, and you get a nice score line, and then you fold that away. Okay. Use my bone folder to flatten it down, like so. It is clean, it's just stained, in case anybody's worrying. So I'm just going to pop that onto there like that. So that was just showing you how you could stamp your sentiment straight onto your designer paper. I had a feeling I got some glue onto that. I'll take that off later. So really straightforward. Like so. So let me fold this one over. So the technique that I was showing you for those that have joined after I started was just to use our marker pens on a larger stamp so that you could add multiple colours. So this one I've got 3, I've got Night of Navy, Calypso, Coastal Cabana and Granny Apple Green on this one. And then this one, to pick out the colour of the fish, I've gone for Coastal Cabana, Bumblebee and Jade. And then on this one here, I just stamped it in Misty Moonlight, but just to show you how you could use the background paper on its own, just with a sentiment, without having to add any extra bits and pieces. Oh, thanks Vivian. Yes, Old Olive is nice, thank you. So a really easy, especially now it's cooling down, we need easy stuff, don't we? So this is the stamp set, Happiest of Birthdays, 4 nice big chunky stamps. So as I say, if you don't like writing inside of cards, they're perfect because they can take up all of the space inside. This one I stamped onto a die cut. Same with this one, but I chose the colours to match the paper, and on this one I just literally stamped on the paper, simple as. And then if you have got offcuts of these pieces left over, I'll move this one out of the way, you could pop this one here, for example, on the inside. Let's do that. So just a reminder, my customer email has gone out this afternoon, or early this evening I should say, with details of this month's class in a box and details of Paper Pumpkin from Stampin' Up, which is almost like a class in a box. It's the same price, but you do pay delivery on it, but you do get a little stamp set with it. And my class in a box has a video now that shows you everything included in the pack, plus what you can make, and that's £20. And Paper Pumpkin is also £20, and if you buy them both together from me, then I'm offering free delivery for both to be posted to you together. So there we are, that is all I wanted to cover for this evening. I've got to go and walk my dog now, it's a bit cooler, because she's been missing out on her walks. So if there's any questions, do pop on and say hi and ask me a question. If not, I do hope you can stay safe, look after each other, do look after your loved ones, and I hope you can keep crafting. I will be back tomorrow, that's Friday, at 3 PM for some more crafting, and this is Friday fun, simple fun crafting. Hope you can join me then. Thanks so much for spending time watching this, whether you're live or on replay. I really appreciate everybody's visits. Thank you so much. Goodbye.